Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game, Rules by Chaosium. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try hard to stick to reasonable languages for all ages, listeners should know that this is a podcast that may include mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., may bear resemblance to persons living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. All right, and welcome back to a brand new 2020 episode of the Old Ways Podcast. This is our first recording in 2020. Thank you all for coming back and giving us another listen. I am Keeper Michael, will be your keeper for this evening. To my right,
You have Lonnie. You'll be playing Lawrence Edward Oliver Forsyth, civil engineer, and yeah, things are going on.
Civil engineer. That's one other thing. I might call you an armory, a walking armory, potentially.
I am not a walking armory, sir.
Maybe not right at this point. Then further to his right.
I'm Heather, and I am playing Anastasia Edwina Fairchild, known as Stazi to her friends, who, for those who listened last time, discovered that she is not exactly who she claims to be, and that sometimes the monsters are not eldritch horrors.
You know, more often than not, that seems to be true, and that the monsters actually are just the rest of the fellow humans you have. It's okay, because Cthulhu will devour you all. At the end of the table.
I'm Jake. I'm playing Jack Doyle Gumshoe, and I'm just trying to get by right now.
Just trying to get by. You have a woman you're tracking still at some point, right?
Well, I know where she's at. I just don't know how I'm going to extricate her.
Okay. Well, wonderful.
A shovel.
A shovel? I don't know that the person paying him to do the job wants him to do it with a shovel, but we'll see. And then to my left.
This is James. I'll be playing Dr. Sigmund von Tottenbach, the group physician, who is currently sitting here watching the wheels go round and round.
Yeah, it's interesting that the doctor's office has become like the epicenter of...
There's like this hub. Yeah, they're like, well, if you can't find somebody, chances are they're at Doc's office.
Right. Well, I mean, people would gather at Jake's office, except that it keeps getting shot with...
you need to get shot less.
Right.
Yeah, well.
I think we need to move the hub to someplace with food and drinks.
Oh,
Lots of drinks.
That sounds great.
Right.
And then finally...
Tiffany, I will be playing Maeve O'Shea, who's minding her own business.
For the moment.
Minding her own business, yes, but also you seem to have caught on to the fact that you have this kind of hole in your journaling life.
Yeah.
And it's got to have gripped you something fierce, right? She searched for these missing papers now a couple of different times, and she can't find them. She can find all the journals. And she can see that the papers maybe that would have been around that time maybe have been removed.
Uh-oh.
It's almost as if someone doesn't want you to know what happened. So.
Someone done total recalled your ass.
Yeah, I don't think so, but I mean...
Or maybe I did it to myself.
Right.
It's always possible.
Right.
So we're going to raise the curtain tonight on... I think we really have to raise the curtain on Ms Fairchild tonight. When last we left, there was a discussion going on between you and your lover, I think is a fair term. At least roommate, perhaps?
Air quotes. Roommate.
Roommate, yes.
Air
roommate.
quotes.
Roommate. Mary, who... has come to find out that maybe you were not completely trustworthy, completely truthful with her. But you've couched it in a very understanding way. Your husband, Herman, showed up when we last left, and he did quite a doozy on your emotional and mental state. And so we raised the curtain, but moments after we left, some of the more emotional air has left the room a little bit, and we pick back up as you and Mary are trying to figure out what to do next.
I believe Stazi was left in a how do we put it? Weakened, energetic, weakened and state, drained to the bone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mary was being supportive.
Yes, she was. Now she wants to know if you're coming back to the house or not.
I still don't think it's a good idea. He could be outside. He was already caught outside by Mr. Doyle once.
Well, if he comes back, we'll simply call the police.
As Stazi takes another drink to fortify herself.
I should only wonder what happens if they ever outlaw this stuff. Blink, blink.
Mr. Doyle has already said that he would provide or could assist us in obtaining a police presence.
She turns to you, because if memory serves, you're still in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You just maybe probably backed away from the emotional epicenter of this. Mr. Doyle, what can be done?
Well, here's the problem. Stazi is her husband, so you can't...
Herman is his...
Well, so you can't just have the cops kick him out and throw him, run him out of town.
Well, it's my house.
Well, I understand that.
Actually, scratch that. It's the university's house.
Right.
Trespassing? Assaulting another person, i.e. yourself? There has to be something you can do.
Unfortunately, it is my experience that most of the time the husband is the one that the court side with, whether or not his character is suspect.
See, Mary?
Right, and
What chance would we have?
until he actually breaks the law, the cops aren't going to arrest him.
I've met his match before. Most unpleasant character.
It's not safe. We grab a few things. We go away for a while. A hotel, another city,
Right.
somewhere. We don't just walk back in to where he knows we are.
I can give you guys some protection at night, if that's okay. I mean, I hopefully in a couple days he'll give up and go back home.
Well, I could be away from the house for a few days. Maybe there is a downtown hotel we could stay in.
Ladies, if you would, if I could be so forward, I have a place in the city. And if this Herman person was fool enough to accost you on my property, he would be in for a very rude welcome.
I would feel better if hotels are open, hotels are public. I would feel a whole lot better somewhere that wasn't public. I'm happy to take you up on your offer, Mr. Forsyth, though we barely know each other.
He can be trusted.
It is no problem.
Well, then, if you don't mind, we just need to collect a few things from the house and then...
Excellent, my car is outside.
I'll go with you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay, so the four of you kind of package yourself up and trundle off towards the university house.
Okay.
Miss O'Shea, you returned from Davidson's to your house. You get in pretty late. You made a fair amount of money, though, especially for an hour or so of work. Jimmy was not able to take you back to the house, so you had to grab a trolley train to get back to the house. But you walk back in. It's raining, so it's helpful that you've had your umbrella. It's actually starting to thunderstorm here at night.
Okay.
It's one of the... It seems like it's going to be a pretty potent Midwestern thunderstorm.
Yay.
You walk into your house late at night, and I'm going to have you make me a spot hidden roll.
That's bad, isn't it?
I don't know, what is it?
All zeros.
Yes, all zeros is bad.
That's all bad.
Okay. You walk right into the house. You set your umbrella down. You begin moving through the house as you normally would. And it's at that point that you fall over.
Okay. Like pass out?
Nope, you fall over flat, like on your face, like you trip over something.
I tripped over something? Okay.
You hit the deck hard.
Okay, what did I trip over?
You search around. It's dark in the house. You barely even had a chance to turn the light on, so you're going to have to get up and scramble to the light.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
You scramble to the light. You turn it on. And you see that there's an awful lot of stuff on the ground. There's stuff all over the place. Your furniture's been overturned. Your bookcases are on the floor.
Okay.
Oh, somebody gave you the old Chicago maid service. That's no good.
I'm gonna take a deep breath. And go to my desk and I guess take stock, slowly go through and make sure nothing's missing.
Well, you go into your study, the study proper, obviously because there's stuff all over the main foyer. Look, not the entrance room, it's not a foyer because you don't have that big of a house.
Right.
You go into your office and you see that the desk drawer has been pulled out. Your cabinets, your filing cabinets have been opened. Your bookshelves in here have been taken off their moorings and they're peeled over. You have a bunch of papers and diaries and journaling that have been done that's all over the floor. And you're not really sure where anything is at right now because it's kind of everywhere.
Right. That's why I'm saying I'm going to start. I guess, well, I'm in shock. And I got to make sure stuff isn't missing. Thankfully, I keep a bag with all the essentials on me at all times, but...
By essentials, what would you put in that?
My books that are on my card. My
Okay.
father's books.
Okay.
I have these papers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the journal.
Mm-hmm.
Swift's journal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I have right now. Like, those are my essentials right now.
So...
Like, my current journal, Swift's, the book I'm studying, my dad's 2 books.
So you
And then
keep
these
a case with you then?
Well, I pictured it more like a messenger bag, kind of.
No, you got to think about the era though, and
Yeah.
I would hate to be that guy.
Right, right.
But there weren't a whole lot of messenger bags in the 1920s.
Yeah, I guess it'd be like a
It would be
satchel
no, it could be a suitcase, like an actual proper case.
A carpet
One of
bag.
the fold
Yeah.
over, like
Yeah.
a bag or one of the
Yeah.
fold over, like a, not naga hide, but you know the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Black pleather.
That's kind of like what I
or brown
pictured.
leather, kind
Or,
of large, like fold top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like one of the little larger fold top, maybe even
Yeah.
with wheels
Yeah.
on the bottom.
Yeah.
Like what we think of as travel luggage now.
So you have your specifics
Mm-hmm.
with you still, which is good.
Only because if I travel, I want to have those for study, for
Sure. You look around. So it's a little difficult right now to ascertain what's here and what's not here because everything's been upturned. Mm-hmm. Are you searching the rest of the house?
Yeah, I'm gonna look around while I'm still in shock. Like, is every room's probably been overturned?
Your bedroom has been violated. In the sense that for a woman in the 20s, your things have been gone through. They've pulled out your dresser drawers. They have pulled out clothes. They've gone through a ton of different stuff in here.
Now, I guess then the other thing is I'm going to look at windows at my back door.
You look at the windows. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll for your windows and back door. It's a fairly specific.
Yay, 15. That is under hard. It's not extreme. Half is 19.
What you find on your first floor, basically your living room window, is that it appears that some of the wood where the windows come together, some of the wood has been rubbed or stripped from the underside of that window. And that window is quite noticeably cracked, just a bit.
Okay.
So it's quite possible they came through the window. When you get to the kitchen, you find a very telling item. It's a piece of paper.
Does it have anything on it?
It does. It has a painted message on it.
Painted?
Yep, it looks like it's painted.
Okay.
It says, "We'll be back."
Oh, awesome. With any kind of symbol or anything?
Nope. It's simply painted there. The paint is actually still somewhat wet.
What was it painted with?
It looks like some of your own supplies. Some of your mystical circle casting and drawing supplies were used to color it.
I'm gonna call Doyle's office.
You call. There's no one there.
I'm going to call the doctor's office.
You hear a telephone ring. After about 10 or 15 minutes after folks have left, everything has died down pretty well. And the phone rings. It's probably close to 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
This is Maeve.
Well, I assumed it had to be somebody I know. Otherwise, no sick people would be as inconsiderate to call this late at night.
Well, yeah. This is kind of
they all know doctors.
an odd situation. Is Doyle with you?
Doyle? Are you still here, Doyle? No, he's gone.
I have a situation at my place.
I will be right there.
Okay.
Hang up the phone. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's not impossible for you to get to a taxi or whatnot. To get to Miss O'Shea's, it takes you maybe, say, 10 or so minutes.
Okay.
It's not too terribly far.
I go to her address then.
You head to her address. The four of you get to the university house. You are driving Mr. Forsyth. So as you pull the car around and into the university blocks, you eventually pull up in front of Ms. Fairchild's house.
Okay.
So?
I open my door. I get out.
Mm-hmm.
I open the passenger side door.
Okay.
I look up and down both sides of the street for this disreputable person. See if they're still here. That'll be a spot hidden, I assume.
It would be.
Nope.
You don't see anybody. Coast looks clear.
Okay.
Get out.
You get out.
Okay. Ladies, do you want to go in with them and watch it and look inside? I'll stay out here.
A few crackles of lightning and a burst of thunder.
Yes, let's make this quick.
Mary steps out of the vehicle. She eyes the house a few times before walking up to it.
I'll quickly get out and head very furtively towards the door.
She leans down to the left side of the porch, and she picks up a brick, and then walks inside the house.
I walk inside the house with.
I follow.
You hear her say, "If there's anybody here that's not supposed to be, I'm going to bean ya." The house doesn't issue a reply. She sets the brick down on a nearby table. "I'll be upstairs just for a few minutes and gather a few things."
I'll go with you.
We'll all go together.
Yes.
You guys kind of trundle up the stairs in a fireman's line. Are you waiting downstairs, Mr. Doyle? Are you staying outside? Or?
Well, I'm going to stay kind of in the doorway
area.
Look,
Sure.
we have to split the party at some point.
Right.
Totally understand it.
Is there? I'll take a look on the street. Is there anybody?
Go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll.
Bad news bears. Split the party.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You do see someone 2 blocks, or 2 houses, I should say, down and then across the street. That would be Mr. Donahue from the previous escapade with Herman there. He does seem to be paying attention to what's going on out in the street.
Ooh.
So you have gathered his attention. The upstairs of the home for you, Mr. Forsyth, isn't terribly lavish. It's functional. It's a nice, not story and a half style home, but it's
functional.
It's a functional bungalow.
Yeah.
Couple of bedrooms upstairs. You and her and Stazi go through and check each room, hide no hair of anybody, and she begins packing. She pulls out a suitcase and starts.
I'll wait outside.
Actually, I would go into the back of our closet and pull out a bag that's already packed. Because she always keeps a bug out bag.
She gives you a look.
Here. I just grab another bag and I just start grabbing some of her clothes and throwing them in. Get the stuff off of your dresser. Let's make this quick.
She collects a few other things. I'm sorry, I would have been more prepared.
Calm down. We just need to get this done quickly. I go into the drawer on my side of the bed, on my end table, and grab a small book that looks like that has a letter
Okay.
poking out of it, and I throw that in my bag. Very quick, in my purse, actually. I'll put that in the purse.
Okay. After 5 or so minutes, the two of you come back downstairs.
Yeah.
Essentially, they come down each with a bag or suitcase in hand. I've got everything I need.
Let's
Grab the cases.
She heads to the back door and locks the back door. And then locks the front door. And after just maybe 5 or so more minutes, you guys are piled back into Mr. Forsyth's car.
And away we go in my birdmobile.
Yeah.
Stazi will be looking out the back window a little bit.
Yeah. There's no flames that have engulfed the house, but there might as well be. That is a burned location for you, at least as long as your husband is running around. At least that's probably what she would think.
Agnes's husband, not Stazi's.
Sure. You can split the hair however you like.
In Stazi's mind, that's the way she thinks of it.
Hey, you're welcome to think that until you have to roll Sam.
Yep.
Which we're not doing yet. So, you head to Mr. Forsyth's house. What accommodations, if any, are you making for them specific?
I will be moving. I will be trying to make as much room in the closet as possible for them to put clothes.
Sure.
Their stuff will go in the bedroom. Of course, they'll be in the bedroom. I'll grab some bedding for the couch.
Okay. You make them as comfortable as possible. Mary thanks you profusely for being a gentleman.
Yeah, anything to... Do you have something to drink to hear, Mr. Forsyth?
I'm afraid not. I don't usually keep things at the house.
Woefully understocked. We'll do. We'll make do.
Well, we'll find a way. And then we'll have to get this resolved. But Mary sits down on the edge of the bed that you've given them and kind of exhales a few hours of stress out of her body. It's noticeable.
I think Stazi paces for a while.
Probably. Mr. Doyle, what's your plan?
Well, if you guys all settled in,
It'll do for now.
then I will head out.
What's today's date in the game?
Thank you,
it is
Mr.
March.
Doyle.
You're welcome.
It's March 31st.
Okay.
I'm sorry to have put anyone in this position.
It's okay.
Think
No
nothing
problem.
of it.
I wish I could. Wish I could.
I'll check in on you tomorrow.
Yes,
Right.
please. Thank you.
Right. Then I'll get a cab and I'll head to my office.
So what's the date of the week? It's
You have to look it up.
It's not Swiss cheese.
a Wednesday, isn't it?
It might be.
It's just a little dinged up.
A little dinged up.
You get a...
Oh, it's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
So tomorrow is church.
Wunderbar. Tomorrow is church. The 1st of April. So, Doctor, you arrive a little while later outside the residence of one Miss O'Shea.
Alright, go up to the door. It's open, obviously. The light's all on.
I don't know. How would you... I'm
Or are
assuming
you
you would
outside?
close the door at some point?
Yeah, I would have closed the door.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, all my lights are on,
Yeah.
Okay. Rap briskly on the door with the head of the cane.
I'll probably be running out of my office, because that's probably where
Where you're starting at. Sure.
Yeah.
Miss O'Shea?
I'm coming. I'm gonna open the door.
You had me worried. Are you okay, Miss O'Shea?
And I'm gonna gesture to my...
Oh, der Lieber. This is not nine. Oh. You need a housekeeper.
This wasn't me.
Oh, good. As I say otherwise, you... Seriously, this is terrible. Clean up once in a while. I'm sorry, Miss O'Shea.
I need to get Doyle. This is what he does. He could maybe figure something out.
This is true. But you are sure there's nobody here? No one here?
Not that I saw. I'm assuming they're not here because there's a note in the kitchen. The kitchen's through there.
Go take a look.
You wind your way through a couple of the deer paths that she's been able to make cleaning up, and you arrive in a rather hurricaned kitchen. There's silverware and plates all over the floor. A lot of stuff got smashed.
This seems like more than they were looking for something. That they were sending perhaps a message for you.
And then the paper there on the table that says, we'll be
A
back.
message for you. They were literally sending you a message, I see.
Yes.
How did they get in? Do you know?
I think the window over there, as far as I can tell.
Look at the window. I go outside.
Okay, you go outside.
I go outside the window that she pointed at and look at the ground.
Give me a spot hidden roll.
Yeah.
I would assume I've been trying to call Doyle's office probably every 15 minutes.
I would assume you've been trying to do that too.
Yes. 45 under 54.
Well, you definitely see a couple of boot prints.
Wunderbar. Well, there's some tracks out here for Mr. Doyle to take a look at.
Okay. I'm still trying to call him. I'll try and call him again.
You call him again. Mr. Doyle, where were you headed? Are you headed back home?
Yeah, I was going to the office.
The office? Okay. When you get to the office, through the... what's the right way to say this? Through the freshly aerated windows, you hear your telephone ring.
Doyle.
It's Maeve. Somebody ransacked my house.
Yeah, that is a shame.
How is that going around?
Would you like me to come over and take a look?
That's kind of what you do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to get the police involved until I know it's not something to do with things that we're doing.
Yeah. That'll be over. Just going to get a couple things.
Thank you.
Doctor, you noticed something else outside. It's not something visual, though. It's something that smells.
Can I get another spot?
No, you don't need it.
No?
The first one is sufficient. The reason why it piques your interest especially is because it's something you've smelled before. It is European pipe tobacco. It has a very pungent, very specific smell to it, and you smelled it years ago coming over originally from Germany. And you even find little brown bits there nearby, as if somebody tamped out a pipe.
Grab some of the bits, kind of crush them between my fingers. I want to get a good smell.
It's definitely pungent, but you've got the scent. You'd know it in a second.
Okay. Well, after that, I guess I head back inside and I help her kind of not clean up, because obviously we want Doyle to see it as close as we can to. Anything that you have noticed that is gone?
That's why I'm in my office. I need to... I mean, those are the things that are important to me. My books and my papers and my...
What about things that are not important to you, but that would be important to someone else? Did you have anything artifacts-wise? Or perhaps money, jewelry? Anything from family? Art objects?
The only things I have are... I don't know.
You had a chance to come... You had a chance to prepare for Davidson's after Mr. Forsyth saw you yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a very specific question. Hang on one second. So, what I need to know is, did you keep the crystal, the stone that Mr. Forsyth gave you, did you keep it on you when you went to Davidson's?
Yes, that I would have.
Okay. Good to know.
The elephant, however, I did not. I don't know if that matters. The little elephant I have.
Well, you haven't found it yet.
Okay.
So you don't know if it's missing.
Okay.
You come back inside, Doctor. Bit of tobacco residue on your fingers still.
There were multiple men outside. One of them smoked a pipe.
You arrive on the scene, Mr. Doyle. All the lights are on here. It's like now 11:30 at night. It's pretty much the only house on this part of the street that has any lights on. There are a couple of street lights, but there's nothing like this. Every light in this house is on.
Well, that's what usually happens. Anyhow, I come in.
Mr. Doyle, I'm glad you're here. Obviously, there has been a bit of a kerfuffle.
Yeah, were you here?
No, I just got home after the show. I was at Davidson's. I'm outside of town.
Right.
The only thing that concerns me is after I talked to you about what Jimmy said, Jimmy couldn't pick me up tonight and bring me home.
Well, I've seen Jimmy a couple times today.
Okay.
I doubt it has anything to do with that. They've already made their message clear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
They came in through the window, and one of them smoked a pipe. Let's do.
Here. I smell it too.
It's a fairly pungent pipe tobacco.
Okay, I will check outside. Obviously, I'm sure you've already looked if anything's missing.
I don't... I mean, it's hard to say. I'm starting to pick up my office now.
How about the book?
My book?
You know, the book.
Oh, no, that's always with me.
Okay.
It's kept close to her heart, just in case.
That's in my bag over there.
All right. I will check outside.
Yeah, you walk around.
How do you get the flashlight?
Go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll. I'll give you advantage because you have a flashlight.
And I'm just going to be in my office, like, at least just making piles of papers and trying to put all my journals into place. And
you've had a good 30 minutes or so by now, so you probably have made some headway into figuring out a good portion of your office. Your office is going to be so big, and we might look around in the modern day and see all the trappings and the tchotchkes and all the other papers and stuff we have, but keep in mind that you're not as materialistic as we are today.
Right.
And so you probably would naturally just have less things.
Well, I mean, I guess, like, the reason I go in there is because it's going to have all my letters and notes from my dad, all his notes, all my books that, you know, I refer to. Like, I want to make sure those are the things that I still have.
I got hard success.
You got a hard success. Wonderful. You see 2 sets of distinct footprints outside in the gardened row, or the kind of loose dirt that makes up the border of this house. You see that they jimmied the wall window here, specifically the window here, that they've managed to basically probably take a long, sturdy boot knife and move it in through the wood from left to right hard enough to trip the lock, or to move it enough where they could push the window open. That's probably how they got in.
All right. The tracks lead out any bit?
They seem to have come from the nearby boulevard. It looks like maybe they parked relatively close by. And as you kind of look around on the scene, as you turn your back to the house and look out towards the street, it doesn't appear like there are... The issue you have is the houses across the street, you're looking at all of their... the back of their houses. There's no front on this specific street. It's on the adjoining street. So there's...
Chances are nobody would have seen anything.
Yeah, this side of the house... And you're probably the only person who would think about this. But tactically speaking, this side of the house would be the side of the house you'd break in on, because there's a lot less likelihood someone's going to see you.
It's kind of secluded.
Yep.
All right. I'll go inside. Yeah, they jimmied the window. Looks like came in through there. 2 of them.
Well, they left a note in the kitchen.
That was the note.
So it's the same sort of painted message that they're going to be back.
And it was still wet when I got home.
How long does it usually take to dry, you know?
It's an oil paint. How familiar are you with oil paints?
Well, oil paints don't dry, really. I mean, they can take years, depending on how thick they laid it.
Well, how long were you gone tonight?
A couple hours, right? Yeah, a couple hours.
Yeah. Well, obviously they came in after you left for work.
Well, it's possible that they may have even watched her leave.
Right. And since oil paints, who knows how long? I mean, they could have done it 5 minutes after you left.
Right.
I just take a look around a little bit. I mean...
Yeah, unfortunately, if you're looking... Are you looking over the whole house?
Yeah.
It looks like they went everywhere. And they got into everything. And so there's a lot of... I mean, if you tossed somebody's house, this is what it would look like.
Okay, so, in general, is there a level of small, like, little boxes or whatever that aren't gone through? Like, does there look like there may have been a minimum size so they were looking for something?
Yes.
Okay.
And it looks like they only looked at the pertinent areas in the upstairs. They went to just give me another spot hidden roll. See if you can surmise this.
Success.
Success?
Yeah.
So it appears anyway that they were only looking through locations which could hold an object of roughly book size.
Okay.
So, yes, they went through her closet. Yes, they went through her dresser. They went to her end table. But what you find suspicious is her small standing jewelry boxes and the other small cabinetry that she keeps her fineries in. They're just tipped over. It doesn't look like they even bothered with them.
All right, I come down. Okay, so it wasn't a regular robbery. They're looking for that journal, I'm guessing. They were looking for a book or something book-sized. Obviously, that was the only book you have that you kept with you.
Yeah, and considering we know that there are still cultists out there.
Now, that's the good news. The bad news is that if they really want that book, they're going to figure that you're carrying it, which means the next time they come, they're coming for you.
Yeah.
Storm picks up outside.
I'm going to make sure to shut that window.
You shut the window. When you shut the window, you just out of habit go to latch the window, and you see that the actual metal latch is loose now in the frame of the window.
I have a Murphy bed. I can offer that.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. Ask Stazi.
His
Yeah.
bedside manner is excellent.
I mean,
I
we
guess.
can do some stuff to make the house a little bit more secure, but then you're still at danger anytime you come in or out or go anywhere.
Yeah, and I live alone, so...
Right.
Now is not a good time for you to be alone.
No.
Or really, any of us maybe.
Well, let me go get a piece of luggage and put all my papers and my books from my office in it, and
Anything you would not wish to be stolen.
yeah,
Liebchen.
get some clothes, I guess.
You might need a few cases for that. You have an awful lot of written material here.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to need a couple of strong backs to hoist your...
Look at the time I gotta
Yeah.
We should get going, Mr. Doyle. We're shifting back to the office. Good luck with that, though, Miss.
So you're going to take the time tonight and pack, a percentage of your office? And
Well-
some clothes? Or give me the breakdown
Okay,
roughly of how
I'm
you're
gonna
do it.
just pack some clothes and get some of my father's papers picked up. Like, I have, like, the letter from, to my mom from him,
Sure.
and all that stuff.
And I appreciate that. The thing is that, with respect, you're going to have to find it now. Because your office has been
Yeah.
literally turned upside down. And so it's going to take you a little while to sort through those papers. But if you're willing to spend the time, you can gather all that stuff.
I would, but I don't think I want to keep other people waiting. Can we come back in the morning?
Yeah.
Gather
Of course, I don't see.
Yeah.
my materials, and then... Because, I mean, if this is the kind of stuff that they're looking for, I need to have these things, and...
You say they're looking for the one she was carrying?
I would guess so.
You were thinking so?
Yeah.
Well,
That's the only book
But I'm still studying it, so I need some of these books to study that.
no, absolutely, but you keep it on you, and it would assume to me that, or it seemed to me that then after that, the person that they would be coming for is you, so wherever you are, we make sure it's fortified, and you should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be in a dungeon. All right, awesome.
No, I would not call my apartment a dungeon. Small, little cramped, but not a dungeon.
So are you collecting anything from the office then?
Just clothes for tomorrow.
Just close. Okay, well, you go upstairs and gather your things off the floor.
Yeah.
Put back what you can put back.
I mean, while she's doing that, I'll just start picking stuff up. I mean, stacking things, I guess.
Okay. Give me,
Give him a hand.
the both of you give me luck rolls.
Yep.
No.
Okay. You're gathering some stuff up, James, and you kind of think you figured out a bit of her rhythm as far as how she had some of this stuff here previously.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, stuff was thrown all over the place, but it was at least thrown in specific locations. Somebody came to the desk, they opened drawers, they pushed papers off. Some of these aren't too terrible to pick up. And you get, a couple of stacks of things kind of you think.
Squared.
Yeah. Mr. Doyle, you go through and kind of just try to put your arms around as much of it as you can and figure that if you can at least get it off the floor,
Right.
it'll be halfway decent enough she can sort out the rest.
Right.
When you do that, you uncover one of the desk drawer, actual drawers from stuff that had been pulled out. You happen to glance down at that drawer itself, and you realize that the wood frame that makes up the bottom of that drawer as you look down into it it doesn't square completely anymore with the actual frame of the drawer. So you do what you would normally do, and you try to,
Right.
put it back where it goes, and you realize it doesn't press back down anymore. And the reason it doesn't press back down anymore is because there's several slips of white paper that are in between the bottom of that drawer and the actual cover that makes up the supposed bottom of it, revealing some sort of false bottom.
Oh, this is interesting. I have to check.
You're a curious type, sure. It's going to get you into trouble one day.
Yeah, more than likely, yes.
You uncover, roughly, let's say, for the sake of it, let's say maybe a 10 by about 16 piece of wood. It's thin wood, but it's wood nonetheless. Doctor, you begin to see him dismantle this desk drawer.
We are here to help her clean up, not to help her just further. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, that's interesting.
Inside, there's a stack of papers, and
Yeah.
the papers
Sharp
are
thing.
they're no A5 size paper. They're journal size.
This is an A5.
What's the date on the top of the journal?
The date on the top of the journal,
Oh, the pages said, yeah.
it's February 18th, 1921.
Huh. I think I found Maeve's missing journal pages.
Really?
You're coming downstairs.
Liebchen,
Yes.
is there something here that Mr. Doyle found that you may wish to look at?
Oh. Okay.
Pass them over.
I'll take a look at them.
You find a series of lined journal pages in your handwriting. And you see a very familiar date,
Okay.
February 1921, specifically the 18th. And your journal begins with the line, "I never thought I'd leave the country, but this was a chance I couldn't pass up."
Okay. Well, I've been looking for these.
Indeed, you have.
I will
Well, you hid them well.
be reading them. Where were they?
False bottom of this desk drawer.
Oh,
You don't remember the desk drawer ever having a false bottom.
yeah. I didn't know. Interesting. Well, I will put them in with my other stuff so I can read them later.
Okay.
It's almost midnight.
Indeed it is. It is almost midnight.
All right. Where are you going? I have to go to church in the morning.
Thank you for your help.
I will escort her back to my office.
Appreciate that.
The two of you make for a reasonably comfortable night at your office apartment location. While the trappings of the doctor are rather, not Spartan, but simple. It is comfortable. It's more comfortable than sleeping in a house alone that someone's recently broken into. Mr. Doyle, do you return to your office that night? Or do you go back home to go to bed?
I gotta go back home. I was gonna go back to my office, but I got called away unexpectedly.
Multiple times. You head back to your house. There's no mail waiting for you.
I don't know anybody.
Yeah, well. And, yeah, the rest of the evening for you goes relatively quickly because you pretty much pass out as soon as you get back now. After a few slugs.
Gotta have a
few slugs, maybe a smoke or two, and you finally doze off. And Mr. Forsyth, you have two women staying in your house. It's highly irregular, sir.
It's highly irregular.
What would the owls think?
Their relationship appears to be highly irregular. I don't know that the owls would really mind too much. They're fairly libidinous people in general. It is a bit disturbing because it is a bit unusual. Many aspects of this are very much outside the norm.
You are not sure what to make of their relationship, their friendship. You wouldn't. I don't even think he would call it a relationship.
A friendship.
He would use the word friendship in his mind.
Yes.
And that could be a salve to him using other words.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
He lived with his friend and sold his scarf collection for $1.2 million. He never married, though. Poor chap. But, no, I would probably, in the interest of there may be somebody looking for her, I would probably stay awake with my weapon handy.
Oh,
and probably sit in the sitting room chair.
Okay.
Reading magazines until I couldn't stay awake anymore, and then I would probably go to the couch and pass out.
You sit up for a little while, read a few magazines, you kind of get to know the house in the night.
Yeah.
I think there's something very significant he would probably do is he would just try to hear, he would extend out those senses around the house and listen to it creak or listen to the people driving by or the thunderstorm that's beginning to brew up.
Yes.
And it's really at that point that your pocket humming draws your attention away from the National Geographic magazine you're reading.
Right.
Stone.
I grabbed the stone from my pocket. I just kind of feel it. Is it still cold?
It's cool. It's actually warmed up a bit since you last touched it. And that could be for a myriad of reasons. But there is definitely an unmistakable vibration to it. Unmistakable.
I am going to... Have I been to sleep at all?
You have not been to sleep yet.
I think I'm going to get up and just move through the various rooms of the house while holding the stone in one hand. I don't know that it detects danger, but it might. I mean, this is all crazy to begin with.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and give me a power roll?
Because I'm going to fail it, that's why. Hey, look at that. I rolled an 88. Fail.
You seem to move about the house with the stone. It continues to vibrate, but not in any discernible direction.
No.
You do, after maybe a good 5 minutes or so, you do begin to pull away a bit of a tingle at your fingertips.
A tingle? Like...
Yeah.
I look at my hand.
Nothing's come off, nothing's rubbed off from the stone on it at all.
It's just sensitive, or... Like,
Yeah, you're not sure what it is. But there's definitely something to it.
And I'm not hearing any unusual noises or lack of noise?
There is a lack of noise.
Because that's even worse in some cases. What is this lack of noise that I'm hearing?
After moving around the house for a bit with the stone and feeling its vibration, you realize you stopped hearing the thunderstorm outside. You stopped hearing the rain. And it's only after concentrating on it for a moment that it snaps back into your audio, back into your ear canal, and funneling back through your brain. And now you hear it again.
I put the stone back in my pocket. There's something strange going on here. I'm not... Can I make a listen roll?
Sure. What are you listening for?
Perhaps animals outside?
Okay. That's fair.
I made it 19 out of 20.
Wowza. You don't hear any animal noises outside. They seem to be being drowned out by the rather raucous Midwestern thunderstorm.
It's odd I couldn't hear it while I held the stone.
It is odd.
I wish I knew more about this sort of thing. I'm probably not going to get much sleep, so I think I'm going to make myself some coffee.
Okay, fair enough. You brew up yourself a pot of coffee. It turns around to a little after midnight.
I'm fairly tired.
You are tired. You, in fact, are more tired than you remember being in a very, very long time. I'd like you to reduce your magic point by 1.
I probably smell the coffee being brewed at some point.
I don't have any magic points, do I?
You do. It's okay.
Yeah, I never wrote any down.
It's okay. We'll handle it. Don't worry. We'll just keep track that you have 1 less than you normally
You have
would.
-1
Yes.
magic point.
No, not negative. That's different. If you lose all your magic points and you lose magic points again after that, it deducts from hit points directly.
I thought you were going to say I become muggle.
No, Mr. Forsyth's already a
Become a
muggle.
nega psychic.
Miss Stazi, you come out smelling the coffee.
You
Yeah.
lose 4 essence.
Do you have another cup?
Yes, one moment. And I go in the cabinet and get a second cup.
You get a second cup for her.
Thanks. Between the storm and everything, I don't think sleep's going to come tonight.
There's something strange going on and I don't know what it is.
What do you mean?
Do you have your stone with you?
Yeah. Yes. One moment, I'll go get it. Coffee cup still in hand.
Yep.
Go over to... I think the door to between the bedroom and the main room's probably... We're leaving it open. Go into the room, into my purse, and pull it out and bring it up.
You pull it out.
Have it in hand.
Yeah, you can feel its vibrational quality.
Does it seem different?
I stop for a second and kind of hold it tight in my hand and kind of close my eyes and...
The more you tighten around the actual stone itself, the more it vibrates. And you start feeling your knuckles vibrate. Like the vibrational quality is getting more intense.
As I think a part of my brain and being right now needs a distraction, I tighten my grip and try to focus by, try to close my eyes and breathe in a kind of a focused way to see if let's see what happens.
You dig deep, roll pow. Pow right in the kisser.
Pow.
That is not gonna happen. Nope.
Yeah, we can't make a power roll to save our lives.
Right, serious.
Whose fault is that?
Ours.
It's the dice. I blame the dice.
Yeah.
You dig deep and you focus and you get very much the same sort of reaction that Mr. Forsyth got. Your fingertips numb after a bit, and then it starts to kind of tingle like if you had your leg fall asleep, and then you kind of stop because it starts to hurt.
Yeah, that's...
And then you lose a point of magic.
I open up my hand and kind of put the coffee cup down and kind of shake the hand that it was in out. Well, that was not pleasant.
Thinking back, just while she's busy concentrating on it.
Sure.
When I met those strange people who gave me these stones,
Yes, the two giant men.
did I feel that tingling? Did I feel that sleepiness?
No.
No.
Nope, you gathered the stones that they gave you and played nicey nice until you could run far away.
Well, this is a mystery to me. Evidently, this whole business has got my nerves just...
Which is why you should have more coffee and sit in your front room with a loaded weapon.
Yes, absolutely. Like a good American, yes.
I'm freaked out, so I'm going to sit here with a gun and coffee.
Correct.
We'll stay up all night, hopped up on coffee with a loaded weapon.
Yeah.
Load, unload.
And a little paranoid.
Call the doctor and see if he has any cocaine available.
He does.
I do!
No.
I'll take the stone and just tuck it into the pocket of my outfit.
Okay.
So it's still on me, it's just not in my hand.
You are free to... the both of you are you, especially because Ms. Stazi, you were the one that most recently did it, you are welcome to double down on that roll. And you can attempt to push that roll. Mr. Forsyth's already gone on to his living room.
That seems like a good idea.
National Geographic and his weaponry.
One of us needs to actually get something here.
Yeah, I can't do it. There's no way. My power is too low to start with.
But
Mine
I would warn you.
might.
I would warn you this. A failed push roll is not pleasant for an investigator. And that's just a free,
Especially this kind of push roll.
person-to-person warning.
To quote a great man, you can do it!
Wait. He's a great man?
He was.
His bar is fucking low.
Hey, his character in all the Adam Sandler movies was great.
Okay, sure. I'll give you that.
Don't do it.
So, if you're going to push it, I would like you to tell me how you're going to do it. Because the how is very important.
I think we go and sit in the main room.
In the sitting room.
In the sitting room for a while.
Sure.
Just sitting there, drinking coffee. Still kind of strung out psychologically and emotionally at this point. And
Just strung out in general.
The tick, no alcohol, and the tick, tick, tick of whatever clock is probably nearby, and it probably just gets to me, and I just say, screw it, the hell with this, and pull it out and put it in my hand, and
I'm probably not talking because there's literally no conversational handles here that aren't awkward as hell.
yeah, and just two hands around the stone.
You would see her, Mr. Forsyth, you would see her clutching it rather intently.
It's like
Well, maybe you two should do it together.
with determination.
That always turned out well, right?
Yeah, right. Teamwork. I mean, what's going to work? Teamwork.
Meat work.
Meat work.
Well,
It makes the dream
Thanks.
work.
Now I got that stuck in my head, you bastard. Okay.
Meat work.
For all the parents out there, we apologize because now you've got that tune. You've got that tune stuck in your head.
Don't know it at all.
What's
I
gonna
have avoided your trap.
you dive headlong into a mental state which requires your absolute focus. So go ahead and roll.
Roll me. That is a 1.
Yeah.
Sir.
It is a one.
That is a 1.
Okay, so as a 1, it's a critical success. Right? That is the best possible outcome for a pushed roll. You focus in real hard with your mind on this stone. And you begin a technique that you'd seen in a couple of Bohemian books about visualization. And you keep focusing, and Mr. Forsyth, she's sitting not too far from you. And so you're watching this, and you begin to see perspiration kind of dampen the upper part of her forehead. And you start hearing a hum come from her hand. And then a light glow begins to crack out of this stone. Down one of its faces, it actually bisects and segments off and forks, much like lightning.
Where's
And
it
then
going?
it's going down to the tip of that stone. Just the tip. And when it gets there,
That's what he said.
the hum becomes overwhelming in the room. And your hands are now shaking back and forth, trying to control it in your hand.
Do I even notice this?
Nope, everything is peaceful and serene for you.
Okay.
You are awash in positive vibrational energy. All of the worries and concerns from the day or the week or the month have been drowned out in an ocean of positive energy.
Eyes are closed, hands are closed, and I'm just reveling in this because I desperately need this. At least as far as I know.
At that point, I'm going to shake her shoulder.
Okay. You snap out of it. The stone goes dark. It returns to its normal form.
What'd you do that for?
You didn't see it?
See what? For the first time in the last 48 hours, I felt okay.
It was glowing in your hand.
I look at it. Does it look any different?
There does appear to be a residual, almost inner light to this object now, although it's faint. So it's not a glow as if it was a light bulb or a candlelight for that matter, but it does seem to have taken on some sort of a sheen that it didn't have before.
Okay. So it's shiny.
Imagine if it glowed like Mother of Pearl does.
Yeah. So it's shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like it isn't physically here for us in the room. So for our listeners, what you might not be aware of is that each of the players actually have physically a obelisk-style lapis lazuli stone. It's about 3 or so inches long. They each have one as a physical representation. We'll put a picture of it up.
And with very pointy ends.
Yes,
And each of them are cut, obviously, from the stone or different angles, so they each look a little different.
Right.
Yes.
But yes, yours, and you can tell now, Mr. Forsyth, just by looking at hers and having seen yours recently, the two now look moderately different.
Yeah, I pull mine out and look at it.
Yours is dull compared. I mean, that's not par for the course or anything, but...
What do you think it means? I mean,
I don't
mine's
know.
much prettier now, but...
I don't know. I don't understand any of this.
I don't either.
You hear a voice from the doorway. What's going on? It's Mary.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. Did we wake you?
I heard a bunch of people talking out here.
Oh, it's just... We were just discussing... just trying to take my mind off of things. There's coffee.
No, I'm going back to bed.
At least one of us can sleep. Good night.
Good night.
I'm afraid I should lie down as well. It's been a very long day.
You lay down as well. And for tonight's episode, we'll call it there with all of our investigators sleeping, but maybe not fitfully sleeping. And we'll catch you next week.